Sir, where do you work?
The Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you worked with the Sheriff's Office?
29 years.
Okay. So tell me, sir, what do you currently do there?
I'm assigned to the Special Investigations Unit as a detective sergeant.
And what does the Special Investigation Unit in the Sheriff's Office do?
We handle major crimes, internal affairs, officer-involved shootings, anything major, we usually have our hands into it.
Okay. And that's run by Lieutenant Timothy Willis at
It is.
Constable here? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been assigned to the Special Investigative Unit?
Since 2011.
And prior to that, where did you work?
I was the detective sergeant in charge of our computer crimes unit for almost 8 years. Prior to that, worked at the jail, the road, general investigations on the road.
Okay. So all told, you said 29 years of law enforcement experience?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'd like to direct your attention to November the 30th of 2021. Do you recall that day?
I do.
Were you working that day?
I was.
Were you made aware of the shooting at Oxford High School?
I was.
Do you recall how you were made aware of that?
My supervisor, Lieutenant Willis, called me on the phone.
And did you respond to the school?
Eventually, I was heading that way, then I got diverted.
And tell me what happened.
Lieutenant Willis called me and asked if I would go to the Oxford substation to attempt some interviews.
Okay. And we say attempt some interviews. Interviews of who?
The shooter, the responsible.
Okay, so the shooter was arrested at the Oxford High School on November the 30th and taken to where?
The Oxford substation.
Okay, so we say substation, so the Sheriff's Office being a rather large organization, there's different police stations of the Sheriff's Office within Oakland County?
Correct. Every township that contracts with us, we have a substation, like a mini police station at each contracted area, each township.
Okay, and when you say Oxford substation, that's what we're referring to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you were made aware that the shooter was transported to that location?
Correct.
And you were sent there to do what?
Attempt to interview him.
Okay. And did you speak with the shooter?
I did.
Okay. Did you learn his parents' identities?
I did.
Okay. And what did you do with that information?
I called his dad
Okay.
and asked him to respond to the substation to talk to them.
Is his dad in court today?
He is.
Can you point to him and describe something he's wearing today?
And he's sitting at the defense table and he has the headphones with a little white mouse on them.
You got a record reflect identification?
The record will reflect the in-court identification of the defendant.
Okay, so we had testimony from Edward Wogrowski regarding location data earlier today and yesterday that showed that James Crumbley arrived at the substation about 1:58 p.m. on November the 30th. Is that consistent with your memory?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell us please what happened after, what did James Crumbley arrive, did Jennifer Crumbley arrive as well?
Yes, they both arrived together.
Okay, and tell us what happened after they arrived.
My partner and I, Rob Miller, took him into an interview room to let him know what was going on.
Okay. And in the Oxford substation, when you took them to an interview room, is this room equipped with audio and visual recording?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and was that equipment operational on November the 30th?
It was.
Okay, and was that conversation between yourself, the defendant, and his wife, is that captured on audio and visual recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've seen that recording before?
I have.
And that fairly depicts that conversation?
It does.
Judge, this is Exhibit 301. I believe we do not have an objection to this, but is that correct?
Correct, no objection, Your Honor.
Real ones of them, yes.
May I publish to the jury, Judge?
Sure.
So as we wait for the...
Let me know if we need the sound adjusted.
Thank you, Judge. Before I press play, the top right corner of the screen here reflects 14:58. The time is actually 13:58. Would that be correct?
That's correct.
And is that because of daylight savings?
I'm assuming.
Okay. So the actual time this begins is 1:58 p.m. on November the 30th.
That's correct.
So before you start, just identify everybody who you see here.
I got my back with the bald head and the blue shirt. To my left is my partner, now retired Sergeant Rob Miller. One standing is James Crumbley, and the woman is Jennifer Crumbley, his wife.
Okay.
We have Ethan with us. Obviously, we don't know all what happened yet because everything's still ongoing. It's our understanding he wasn't involved in a school shooting. He was the one that did everything. He said he acted alone. That's all basically the only thing we've asked him so far, because there's word about other students, other people that don't join us. I'll get some questions from you, or ask you some questions first before you even start talking to him.
Is there, I hate to stop you, is it possible for me to have a word? My mouth is blessed.
Yes,
Super dry, freaking out.
Yes, please.
There needs to be colleagues, you know.
And we do not know, there are several people who've been shot. This is my partner get back. We'll get into it with you a little bit. But we really need to talk to him. Of course, we can't do that without you guys.
We were just there this morning.
That's what I understand. But we'll talk about that.
He's never done anything bad.
Jennifer, what is your date of birth? Last name is also Crumbley. And James, what is your date of birth?
Thank you.
Just gonna pause it for a second, just for where it was redacted because personal information was being discussed.
That's correct.
Okay, personal identifying information. I should
Yes,
say.
sir.
We're coming in this very early. I understand there was an issue this recently. Was there? This morning. What went down this morning?
Well, he was, he was writing, yes,
Show me the picture.
he was doodling on a test. Or a practice test.
Do you think we should probably have a lawyer?
That's up to you.
I think we probably should have a lawyer.
I think we can speak
I know.
to the house. And
It just,
we'll answer these.
And here's our perspective right now. This thing is still very, very fresh.
right?
All right, people are still on their way to the hospital and such. We need to know what his state of mind is. Is there explosive devices anywhere? Is there other guns anywhere? Did he hide guns, ammunition, explosive devices? Are there any other victims? We need to know these things quite rapidly.
I was in town. I saw all you guys go to Fairbout. When I see 5, I start concerned. I headed to the high school, obviously couldn't get to the high school, turned into the Meyer parking lot, and I saw these kids standing outside. I'm trying to call my son, make sure he's okay, and
He texted me that he loved me.
He texted you that?
and somebody said that there was an active shooter.
35 minutes before he called me, that was with,
freaked out
I went
because
down
of
to the school.
the
He
situation.
was drawing that on the paper and the counselor called us down.
So really, you can't make a figure.
I don't know.
What did the
No, it was texted to me
call?
from the counselor. I texted Ethan at 12:21, you okay? He said, yeah, just got back from lunch. I said, you know, you can talk to us, we won't judge. He said, I know, thank you, I'm sorry for that, I love you. I said, I love you too. And then, you okay? I hear that. And then, he told me about what's going on, and I freaked out when I drove here from work. And then,
That's where we're at.
that's where we're at.
What time did you text him?
That was at 12:21, and he's just getting back from lunch.
But you guys had a meeting with the counselor this morning with
Yeah.
the rule?
Yeah.
I said, real quick after this. What, was it the first hour, second one, what time was it?
I got to school at 10:30, I don't know
So it
whatever.
would have been earlier